Well, tonight, President Biden will deliver a keynote address at the Democratic National Convention. Just weeks ago, he was preparing the acceptance speech for the Democratic nomination. Well, now he's looking to cement his legacy and focus on promoting Vice President Kamala Harris's bid for the White House. White House Communications Director and Senior Advisor to the President, Ben LaBolt, is joining us now to talk a little bit more about this. Good to see you.
Thanks for having me.
Give us a little bit of intel on the speech. What message will President Biden be looking to get across during tonight's speech?
The president's looking forward to the speech this evening. He's been working on it for the past several weeks and finished it up at Camp David over the weekend. You know, a big portion of the president's tenure has been focused on defending democracy here in the United States against the authoritarian threat posed by Donald Trump, who says he'd want to be a dictator on day one if he's elected. So the president will call on Americans to defend democracy one more time by supporting Vice President Harris and Governor Walz. He'll also look back at the past 4 years, all the progress we've made, how far we've come. When President Biden came into office, we were in the middle of a once-in-a-century pandemic. We've beaten that. The economy was flat on its back. We lost 2 million jobs under the Trump administration. We now have the strongest economy in the world. We've created 16 million jobs. And we've defended democracy not only at home, but abroad in places like Ukraine, where the president has made NATO stronger than ever, stood up to Putin's aggression, defended Ukraine, and defended Eastern Europe. So those will be some of the themes tonight.
You know, President Biden was initially expecting to, be delivering an acceptance speech during the convention. How is he doing since dropping out of the race, but also since seeing the reaction to Harris's candidacy?
Well, I think he's very pleased by the reaction that he's seen and the vindication of his decision when he made a courageous decision to step aside for party unity, knowing how important it was to defeat Donald Trump. He didn't call for a fractured, open convention like some voices were calling for. He immediately endorsed the vice president because he's got confidence in her. He knows she's smart. He knows she's tough. He knows that she's been an incredible partner on so many issues over the past 4 years. So this will certainly be a historic night. It's his chance to make the case for the vice president, but he's also very focused on everything that can be done over the next 5 months. If you look at just the past couple of weeks, he's gotten the cost of prescription drugs down, announced the first 10 drugs that we'll see in that category, for example. He's gotten the Americans who were detained in Russia home. He's made progress on cancer in achieving his goal of cutting in half cancer deaths over the next 20 years. So he really wants to finish as much as possible over the next 5 months.
As you know, just a few weeks ago, the president's approval ratings, they weren't the greatest, but often what happens with presidents is once they get out of the White House, their approval ratings go right through the roof. You point out, some of the work that he's trying to do in the next few months. How do you think President Biden hopes to be remembered? Because some of the work that he's doing right now in these weeks, that is what people will remember.
Well, I think if you look at presidents like Harry Truman, who accomplished so much for this country, they may not have had an 80% approval rating when they left office, but they're certainly respected as presidents who got so much done today. LBJ, for example, who also passed major legislation like this president, who's modernizing our infrastructure, our roads and bridges, bringing the computer chip industry home to America from Asia, making sure that there's a clean energy revolution in this country. He's planted so many seeds that are just beginning to sprout, but won't be fully realized for decades to come. And I think an important part of the next step is ensuring that the vice president is elected so we can continue to build on all of the progress we've made under this president.
Tonight's speech is going to be pretty late. I think he's not going to be taking to the stage until about 10 p.m. Are there concerns about how the president may fare? That's pretty late. I'd be getting a little drowsy.
It's the peak of prime time. He's looking forward to it. The president's a night owl. He's also often calling the staff at night, working on things, tweaking this, tweaking that. So I think you're going to see a very energetic performance this evening, and his determination. This will be the first step of him hitting the road to go out and campaign for the vice president, Governor Walz, over the next couple of months.
And so he actually won't be at the DNC when Vice President Harris gives her speech on Thursday, though. Is there any particular reason for that?
Well, I think tonight is very much focused on passing the torch, celebrating the legacy of this president. You're going to hear from Congressman Clyburn. You're going to hear from Senator Warnock. You're going to hear from Secretary Clinton. You'll hear from Senator Coons. You'll hear from Dr. Biden, and you'll hear from the president. It will really put a capstone on the accomplishments of this administration and the president's legacy. And then he's going to hand it off to the vice president to focus on the campaign and focus on the future.
Ben LaBolt, thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.